Welcome to another episode of The Read Pile. I most recently did a video on Sweet Tooth. It was the compendium, which was the complete 40-issue series. Thoroughly enjoyed it. One thing that I forgot to mention was the comic is a bit more Canadian than the show. I'll say this. Jeopardy in the comic is a hockey player, whereas in the Netflix show, he's a football player. Seems like an obvious switch, but whatever. Also, just some of the landscapes. It was supposed to be taking place in Nebraska, and whatever. It's fine. One of those things that I intended to mention, and just completely slipped my mind. The other thing was I noticed the name Tommy showing up, and I believe that was also one of the main characters from Royal City. So I don't know if Lemire's just recycling names, if the name Tommy means something special to him or what, but those are just two observations that I completely failed to put into the first video. So, Sweet Tooth, The Return. This is the 6th issue. You can see Netflix is there already, so this is a 6-issue follow-up years after that original 40-issue series. So, I mentioned in that previous video that it starts like this. What's weird is this seems to contradict one thing that the series had established, which is, I don't know. I'm going to get into spoilers 2 minutes into this thing. So, high level, this is great. This is, I don't want to say superior, but it's a fantastic follow-up. Highly recommended. Now, spoilers. I first want to show off, just issued a spoiler warning, and I'm not yet going to talk about the spoilers, but I first want to talk about the art, which I do think is superior to those original 40 issues. So I don't remember how many years were in between these two, but Lemire definitely, I think, had become a better artist in those intervening years. So, this is much more, it's much closer to what I'm familiar with from Lemire. The original Sweet Tooth series was kind of a surprise. It was a bit more raw than I'm used to from Lemire. So it was a bit loose, a little bit sketchy, but this is, I would say, more refined. Anyway, the art, I think, is better. Also, he's working with colorist this time. I don't know really how that works. I don't know. I thought he was watercoloring everything. So is he like doing black and whites, or is he just doing... I don't know. I don't know how that works. Anyway, so what happens in this? It's 300 years later. The end of Sweet Tooth ends with essentially humanity dying off and the hybrids taking over the planet. One thing that the series had established was the humans. Any new human births, so human parents giving birth to a child, the child would then be a hybrid. This has a sequestered colony of humans. These are the spoilers that I was talking about. So this has humans. They are, you can see some weirdness already there. Looks like office building ceiling tiles with those lights, fluorescent lights. Anyway, here is where we actually start piecing together some of the mystery. So there's this kid that looks like Gus. There is this guy who looks like Jeopardy. And what's up with both of them? Also, there's all of this happening. You can see cave system. So essentially, there is a subset of humanity that has survived for 300 plus years in this cave, and there's a new hybrid. What's his story? Why is Jeopardy showing up again 300 years later? And all of that is explained, well, not. See, that's the thing. I was about to say all of that is explained, but it's not. It doesn't explain. There's a possible explanation. If you allow, there are certain story elements that do get set up. It's just they don't explicitly state how there is this surviving enclave of humans. But if you just accept it as true, then move on with the story, right? The story, by the way, is great. This is recommended. Certainly, if you read the 40 issues, I mean, there's no reason not to get this, but this is recommended. This might be a place to start after the Netflix series ends. I do question where the series is going to end. There's sort of there was already a time jump at the end of Sweet Tooth. So it's the main story, and then there's a time jump. This jumps even further, so I do wonder if they're going to time jump at the end of the Netflix show. If they're going to time jump this far, which I kind of doubt, I don't know. But this might be, if you're a fan of the show, a nice short sequel to the show. I don't know. We'll find out maybe next year. I don't know. But this is great. It's recommended. Hopefully I didn't forget anything that I wanted to say this time. But the art's great. The story is fantastic. It's a bit... there's one thing. I wanted to say this is a bit fanatical. So the character of Dr. Singh, certainly in the comic, is fanatical about the things that he is doing and believes, and this is kind of an entire colony of people that I'm not going to say feel similarly, but wow, it's tense. It's still manages to be uplifting. It's wonderful. Highly recommended. I've said this a couple of times already, but it's true. I loved it. I don't know what I'm reading next, but thanks for watching. I've suddenly forgotten how to end these things. Thanks for watching.